Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I'm going to be doing a reading for y'all. My allergies have been going bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Really quick, as a quick reminder, while I get the cards ready, I do have quite a few different workshops available that I'm sure you absolutely benefit from. We have Black Magic Revocation. We have the Morphogenetic Fundamentals. We have a chord lab if you have an issue with chords. We also have the Whole Being Wellness Workshop. That one is a huge one because most people actually don't know how to address their frequency needs for their physical, emotional, energetic well-being. Food greatly affects you. I don't know if y'all know this, but food does. It has the power to affect you tremendously. But yeah, I have those workshops. Let me get the cards ready. Last night I couldn't sleep again. How about you guys? Are you guys able to sleep or is it just me? Don't tell me it's just me. Don't tell me it's just me because that's going to really irk me. Please don't tell me it was just me. Yeah. I woke up at, well, first, I think I went to sleep around 11 or midnight, which is my norm, whatever. And then I woke up around 1 because I was thirsty. I made a mistake last night of not having water beside the bed. And so I had to go down and get water, and then I was awake for the rest of the day. Yeah, I was awake for several hours until finally I was like, I am going to pester my husband. And we have a huge bed, so I had to go around all the way around to his side of the bed. And I didn't say I can't sleep. I was just like, scoot over. To which he scooted over. And then I was able to sleep, but I think that was around like 5. And I slept for like 45 minutes or so. I've been awake for a while. I've been awake just contemplating why I'm awake. All right, so today's reading, paths are going to cross and everything is going to change, right? So there's things that's going on and it's going to cause you, whoa, what? Paths are going to cross and change everything. Okay, let me just go ahead and pull the cards and see what's happening. All right. So someone is coming to terms with a lack of respect that's been going on. Hold on. So they're cleansing away whatever the situation is that has been like mad disrespectful to them, mad disrespectful to their process, their healing, their sovereignty, and all of that. They're stepping into this place of power. But here's the thing. The masculine and the feminine are in kind of like this upside down space of creation. Don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. They're in an upside down space of creation. So you got to be careful about what you're creating here. Is this your masculine and feminine aspects? Are these the different components of you that are needing to, basically be maybe addressed? I'm not sure. Trying to get a sense of what this is. And it's indiscernible for me. I can't figure out. I don't know if it's your parts, maybe because this is a general reading. So for some, it will be parts of you are kind of upside down in order to create an alignment. Like the both are now facing the same way. And so the integration is going to be a lot easier. And then for others of you, this could be like you are either the masculine and you're dealing with a feminine, or you're the feminine dealing with a masculine. Either way, by summer, y'all are going to be sunflowers in a sunflower patch. You guys are going to be hunky dory, all good, BFFs, whatever it is you're looking for, right? But in order for that to happen and for healing to take place, you have to set the intentions and create the balance that's necessary. If you can do that, then you can make some amazing things happen. Let me just, my nose is starting to drip. All right. If you can do that, you can make amazing things happen between, I guess, you and another person. Whatever this is, it feels like there's almost a goal to just see if you can, how would I put this? It's like things are being considered and how you can be approached on a friendship vibe, just to kind of, I don't know, I guess to set the stage and see if you are even willing to get to know whoever this is, right? I'm assuming, is this someone new? Is this someone that is from your past? Is this a new person that maybe I don't know. I don't know. This is hard. I'm wondering if this is someone from your past. No. I was gonna say I was wondering if this is someone new, not someone from, ooh. Okay, so maybe it's someone from your past. Y'all already know I have very specific views on people from your past being allowed to come forward. But I don't deal in absolutes. I don't live in absolutes. So I guess at some point there will probably be some type of some person who can serve as a I don't know. They could maybe be the exception to this rule. I don't like making exceptions for people at this point. Like when it comes to personal stuff, I don't like to make exceptions for people simply because every time I've made an exception in the past, it's been something that has ended up biting me in the ass later on, right? So, and then here comes Michael with, do you live in the past or do you live in the present with an eye for the future? Because if you live in that way, then you bring the past to you so long as you remain in that mindset, which is true. I'm not going to deny it. It's true. So long as you maintain the mindset that created or allowed for the circumstance to exist, you will still forever hold a potential, an entry point for that type of circumstance to be allowed forward again, to be allowed to affect you once again. So, I mean, what are you going to choose? I don't know. I'm stubborn. I don't know. I guess the best thing to do is to allow yourself to take things situation by situation, right? I keep saying I don't like to live in absolutes, and if you don't, then you're not going to be like, well, this is what's happened in the past and that's what's going to keep happening. You know what I mean? So I guess you're going to have to play it by ear. That's a long way of saying play it by ear. Play it by ear, see what whoever this person is from your past wants. Really be honest with yourself about whether they have changed or not, about their character, about what your intuition is telling you. Is this just going to be another repeat of some BS that you already dealt with in the past that you thought was done? Now, when it comes to that point where you're getting these blips, not unfounded fears, but they're actually saying and doing things that's making you feel like, there's going to be an issue. Then, yeah, no, it's at that point you need to make a decision to either allow it to continue to come to fruition and really actually become an issue for you, or, shut her down. Shut her down. Um, I've learned to no longer be bashful about shutting shit down. I'm just saying. I used to have just such a tremendous anxiety over how people will receive my boundaries, right? It's really only in the past, I don't know, kind of like since I've been on YouTube, because by the time I moved to YouTube, I was just like, fuck it all. Fuck it all. Put it all in the fucking bag and fuck it all. I was kind of just like over it. So for much of my life, because I haven't been on YouTube very long, much of my life, I've really lacked boundaries, right? It's this lack of boundaries out of fear that I'm going to disappoint, that people will be upset. And it's not that I can't handle when someone's upset. It's that if you take it too far with me because you're upset, I can't handle the way I will react and really seriously hurt your feelings. Y'all, if you know, you probably have the same issues. That's an issue, right? Because I'm totally a very, very reasonable, very patient, very supportive, almost to the cusp of enabling your toxicity before, where I will make excuses for you. You don't even have to make the excuses, I'll make them for you. And now I'm kind of just like, no, you did that. You created that. I didn't do that. I told you I didn't want that. I don't want to participate in that. This is why you're being cut off. Oh, you're crying? Okay, well, here's some tissues. Be on your merry way. Don't get me wrong. The people that I do love, I still love very, very deeply. I'm still like that for the people that I do love. If you're one of the rare, very rare few that I love to that degree in a personal way, what ends up happening is I end up making excuses for you. I'm working on things. But when I get disappointed and upset, that's going to be it's as intense as I am lax, right? Hi, unicorn fish. So, you know, I think for some of us, we have a tendency to be afraid of circumstance occurring because we are aware of just how capable we are of just full on destruction, right? We are painfully aware that when we really apply ourselves, we can hurt feelings down to the bone. I remember my sibling who, we were the closest in age, and then when when we went through our teen years, there was a huge divide that occurred. And I remember one time, I think we were in our 20s at that point. And we would always butt heads, and it would be bad. When we argue, that's full on war. And one time, sometime in our 20s, we had just finished with a major argument because it would last weeks, if not months, sometimes years. And he was just like, you're my baby sister. I always got your back. And, even when you're mad at me, I got your back. And then he was like, but you can't be fucking cutting people like that with your words. You can't cut people down with your words like that just because you get pissed off. And I just very quickly was like, well, what did you think would happen when you kept giving me the knife and telling me to cut you? Because at that point, when you take it too far with me, I'm not apologetic anymore. I'm kind of just like, this is what you get. You had so many opportunities that you were given to step away, right? Because once and it's very, very hard to get me to that point, but once you actually get me there, first, that takes skill. That takes skill because I can compartmentalize quite a bit, but once you get me there, that type of reactivity is just pure savage destruction. I only have one intention. I'm very aware of the person that I am. To date, how many people have gotten me there? 4 people. 3 of those were siblings. I'm not joking. Oh no, 2 of those were siblings, one my father, and one person who was just like, listen. Okay. Right. You've been to my house at least 5, 6 times a day. I'm sick of your shit. So 4. That's a hot 4. How old am I? Am I 44? 45? I don't know. 40 something. Mid 40s? Yes. Yes. Mid 40s. 4 people. That's it. So it's this thing of like finally entering into a place where when you're there, it's necessary because they took it too far. They took it too far. So when you're there, it's necessary, right? And you don't like being hurtful. Sometimes people need their feelings hurt in order to understand the gravity of their behavior. And it's not you trying to be their teacher, it's them begging you to teach them. So, it's one of those things. And I will say, my sibling who had the heart journey that I take care of and stuff, he's never been one of those siblings. He's never been one of those siblings. Oh my God, he sent me the sweetest text yesterday. I sent him a video of my leg progress. And he said, "Yee, looking great, sis." And I was like, ah. Yeah. So that was nice. Let's see. So paths are going to cross. I'm wondering if for some of you, the path that's going to cross your own is one that's going to pressure inject conflict into your life. Just I wish a motherfucker would. No. Don't wish that a motherfucker would, because sometimes, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much wood would a motherfucker would if a motherfucker would? It's just don't wish for that. So, okay. The being fearless for those who are preparing for conflict. Y'all, the arrow is being aimed at your heart. Are you fearless or do you just like conflict? Are you fearless or do you just like do you feel glee when you get the opportunity to have an excuse to create or participate in conflict? Right? You gotta grow out of that space. That's a space that, your roots, making an analogy of plants, you've become root bound in that space. It's no longer a space that can hold you. It's not a space that can contain you, and you need to be repotted into something larger so that your growth can be more expansive. That's a very limited space. And, maybe for some of us, um, it's this thing of like, we don't like conflict, but if you get us there, then by all means, let's get jiggy with it, and it's like, even that, like, now, if you have no other options, they leave you no other options. This is why I always give people the opportunity, the space to bow out gracefully from conflict with me, right? I'm not going to corner you. And I think this is something we all need to hear if you want to be able to avoid conflict. I will stand my ground with you, but I'm not going to corner you, because I'm going to give you the option of choosing your dignity and just kind of side skirting me. But by the time you have my attention, and I'm like going to make it clear for you that your behavior, your insufferable behavior, is not going to be tolerated, I'm prepared for conflict, but I would prefer not to have any conflict, right? So you got to give them a space out. And I think this is some amazing perception for relationships, how to maintain um, and grow relationships long term. Because if you're going to be a person who, the moment you get triggered to that degree, you're just kind of out for blood, I mean, first off, the smell of blood carries in the air and it brings other carnivores. You ready for that? You ready for that? Right? You ready for a massive conflict? Because during this period, it's becoming this thing of like, a lot of people are having their organic portal issues, right? And so these organic portals, they clump up. And when they clump up, they gang up. And so you're going to have to make sure that if you're going to draw blood, you better be efficient with that, because the smell of blood in the air brings other carnivores. And unless your intention is to be consumed, meaning no energy, no drive, no passion is left for you to really manifest goodness in your life, you're just going to be dealing with incessant conflict, one thing after another thing after another thing, where, it's conflict. It's draining you. I feel like it's always better to avoid that type of circumstance. Right? So when you apply this to social situations, how do you avoid that type of circumstance? Well, I have this mindset where if I know you're going to create drama, I'm going to leave that alone. And some people be like, but Emmy, they're going to say stuff, honey, they were going to say stuff no matter what. Let them say stuff without your participation. Eventually they lose air. They need you to be the gas to keep it going. So just, yep, no, I'm good. I'm good. If I can, if that's a feasible option, where, just let them finish off whatever they're doing, might take them a couple weeks, couple months, whatever. I'm not going to react or respond, because really, I'm doing other things. I'm really not paying attention. And then you have situations like how I've been dealing with, I think it's about year 3 at this point. I have that very, violent stalker. He's violent. He has a history of violence, especially against women. And I personally believe he is just crazy. He's insane, like mental health insane, which makes it a credible threat. And if someone has been going on and on and on, like he still emails and creates accounts to harass me, right? He still makes efforts to try and geolocate me. That needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed efficiently. When you are dealing with things like that, where it's a danger to your physicality, to your mental health, and they do have a history of violence, that needs to be addressed. That absolutely needs to be addressed in a very legal, very criminal, criminal case type manner. It has to be addressed. I haven't given you guys updates on that in a long time. A criminal case is initiated in his country. A criminal case is initiated, and I will not revoke that. No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it's this thing of recognizing what needs to be addressed and what is just like intended, designed to drain you, drain your energy, drain your shine. Mm-hmm. Don't let those things distract you from what it is you're doing. And what are you doing? You are awakening to the reality of a new chapter where these cosmic connections you have with healthy people are going to continue to grow you in ways that you did not anticipate. So that's one end of the paths are going to cross and change everything. That's like the negative aspect. Let's go ahead and take that positioning and slide it to the opposing side. This is a thing of there is so much hope that's being percolated right now, and this hope is designed to eventually enter into a space of knowing, knowledge, and when you apply that, it becomes wisdom. The wisdom will tell you the timeout is done, that you don't have to oh Lord, you don't have to steer clear of this individual. Like, this is a very specific message for specific people. This is pertaining to maybe a connection from the past, or either past life or, a different time in this life. You had interactions with an individual, and that individual was maybe going through their own little, toxic cycle that, I don't know. They were going through something toxic, and it kind of bled over to you, but it wasn't intended, that bleed over. I'm putting my lashes away. That bleed over was not intended. So it's not like their toxicity is malignant, intentionally malignant towards you. It's just that they experienced cognitive dissonance and they weren't ready to heal. Or, maybe they're going through a bratty phase. Some people are just bratty sometimes, right? And then we learn. Sometimes the most efficient way to overcome brattiness is to kind of like really fuck up an opportunity that's devastated you. Pain is a great way to learn, right? It's a great way to learn. You can't get your way with everyone. You can't. Isn't that right? My lashes. You just, people needed to learn things. And so whatever that was, it was something that, clearly needed to happen for whatever reason. And it's happened, and they've learned. And now there's, it's almost like a reestablishment of whatever the lesson was that the two of you were supposed to learn in each other's proximity, right? Being in someone's proximity means somehow being a part of their life. It doesn't carry with it an absolute definition of romance. It could be being a part of their life um, because you guys talk every day as friends. It could be being a part of their life because only during times of heightened conflict you reach out or they reach out, and you guys are able to help each other through the conflict. um, it could be talking once in a very great while every few years, right? Just to catch up. So it depends on the level of proximity that's needed. And that's going to be determined by the type of cosmic connection that this is. There's already a connection that exists. So this is someone from your past. Again, earlier this life or a previous life. This is someone from your past. Uh-huh. Very interesting. Things are about to blow up. It's gonna get hot. Oh Lord. Things are gonna get hot either because it's gonna be a space of tension. Or it's gonna get hot because there's kind of like this intensity. Um, it's like a alchemical reaction that the two of you have when in proximity. It's something that can't be controlled. It is it's like trying to temper the fire of a phoenix. You can't temper that flame. You can't. Only the phoenix can do that. And when the phoenix starts to burn, it's not concerned about what can and be lost, right? What could be lost? What are the different it doesn't take into consideration any of what the destruction will do. It's just specifically in its process. It's in its process, and it's just something that needs to be allowed with the knowledge that even some of the sacred things can be destroyed. Right? So everything is definitely going to be changing for those who are resonating with this. There's a lot of interference, but there's also this purging of parasitic stuff. The parasitic mindset, parasitic environment, all of that's being cleared out. Even though you're trying to clear parasitic things out, parasitic things have a tendency to fight to stay, right? To fight to stay. So what are some examples of what this is and how it could play out? This could be like the ending of a connection, business connection, relationship, something, family connection, whatever it is. It's the ending of something. And for whatever is ending, they're not wanting it to end. So they're going to continue to create havoc as soon as Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. 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 This is. I'm all out of lip balm. I'm out of spray too. It's been a rough month. Okay. Let me just let your girl do what she does. Okay. Let me do what I do. Like, this is the last of it. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else coming up. I got to start scraping it out. I'm saying this is just. Woo. Oh my God. Anyways. Anyways. Here goes. So, what I'm getting is some type of situation where someone's ended a relationship, right? Someone's ended their relationship. And as they've ended their relationship, they've begun to make plans to carry forward with their life. I don't know if this is a cognitive plan to reconnect with you, or if the paths are just going to cross, or if maybe there's an extreme need in this moment. Um, and you are quite possibly the safest space for this individual, right? For whoever your individual is. So maybe that's why they're going to reach out, right? Now, they're not the issue. The baggage that is kind of like the toilet paper under the shoe, that's the issue. Mhm. Mhm. There is someone that trails after them, behind them. And once that person, I think it's a person, or it might be a person that's full on possessed, like for real. It might just be a demon whore. Who knows? Who knows? So many potentialities. I'm gonna go for coffee after this because this is too fucking much for me this time in the morning. I barely got like 45 minutes of sleep, and y'all are popping this off on me. This is too much. You know what we need? We need a fucking clearing of the third eye. There you go. Just clear it out. Clear this out. I'm just saying, clear out the intrusive thoughts. Just clear it out, right? We're going to clear y'all out. This kind of shit really irks the shit out of me. Okay. So apparently, what I'm seeing and feeling is there's probably going to be some type of reconnection that takes place. I don't feel like it's going to be malignant. I feel like it's a very benign type thing. Someone from your past is maybe needing connection with you because you're a safe space, you're strong, you're very encouraging, you're very healing, you're inspirational, all that good stuff, right? And so, that reconnection is there. And then whatever toilet paper they're trailing, it's like I'm allergic to this topic because my tongue is tingling. My tongue is tingling like a mofo. Uh-huh. Oh. Uh-huh. It's like itchy. Anyways, once this person gets a whiff of you, again, I'm assuming this is someone from your past. Once they figure out this person has reached out to you, that there is a reconnection with you, that toilet paper of a Nutter Butter bar is going to go bonkers. I'm not claiming none of this reading, but I will say, okay, I'm not the one to be trifling with. That's not a warning. No, that's a disclaimer. Okay. I'm saying I take it seriously when people come to me for help and you're the one they're needing the help from. When you bring that to me, you're tagging me into the ring. So, word to the wise. I was raised like a dude in a very aggressive household. I'm aware of how to grapple. I know how to throw a punch without breaking my wrist. I'm very, very fond of submission moves. In addition to that, I hyperfixate. If I can get your arm, if I can get your neck, that's my only objective, and you will not stop me until I am successful in what I have planned. See? And I think this is the very reason why whoever this is for you is seeking you out for a space of shelter, because I think they know that whoever the toilet paper Nutter Butter bar person is, I think that person's already intimidated by you because bitches can see. You want to be an alpha? You go right ahead. That don't mean shit to someone who's a sigma. There is no hierarchy. You could either handle me or you can't. And if you can't handle me, do yourself a favor. Don't fuck with me. It's very simple. You see, a lot of people in society, social spaces, are like, I'm an alpha, good for you. Yay. I don't give a shit. I don't. I don't. Good, yay. Good for you. Hold on. How many gold stars do you want? Here. Let's see. Hold on. Like they did in kindergarten. Okay. We're just going to leave that right there. Right? You got a gold star. Yeah. Sigmas don't give a shit. They're only concerned with justice or injustice. That's it. Make my ear itch. There's a fire cleanser that's going to be run. So it's this thing, someone is seeking you out because they need the comfort of your love. Girl, I mean, y'all want to behave. I got a lot of gold stars up in here. Okay. My kids gave me their gold stars because they're like, mommy's a good mommy. I share my stars. I can share them with y'all. I can share them with y'all. If you feel, if you need to be validated in that way, I could absolutely share the gold stars with you. I'm all about sharing. I'm all about caring. I also have a miniature rubber mallet. If y'all want to get sideways, we could just pound you back straight. Leave no marks. I'm saying. Y'all think I'm joking? Hold up. Purse size. This is just, I'm saying I have a lot of different tools and stuff here. It depends on what you need from me. Depends on what you need, it depends on what you need. So this is someone that's seeking to be reborn from their space of darkness, their shadow space. This is someone that while they were in their place of hurt, I guess at some point they felt rejected, Village baby behaves, so he doesn't need a rubber mallet anymore. He's behaving himself. Let us not pick on Village baby. He is a good guy now. You see, there's a star. Village baby is a good guy now. He's being a proper young gentleman. Where is he? Where is he? Anyways. So when someone was in their space of not being able to heal, it was like they were denying how your energy attracts them, right? Your energy was attracting them, and they were denying that because they weren't ready to heal. In order to heal, they had to first recognize, acknowledge the so hold on. We're trying to stay in a space of goodness. A space of goodness. That's what we're trying to do. Yes, yes, daddy, yes. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. This right here, this is why this man forever has my loyalty. This is why. This is why, right? This is why. Mhm. That's why. So, we don't violate other people's spaces. I know, I look docile Asian, right? I promise you I'm not. I know. It's kind of messed up that my spiritual team, my soul picked this body, because, like, people don't see it coming. Let me show you something. Maybe this will help people understand. I want to share this too. This is an update. Look, I'll show you. Hold on. Let me airdrop this. I'm gonna go ahead and airdrop this so that way it's a good opportunity for me to share my progress. um, yes, yes. All right, let's go ahead and check this out. So here, let's look. Let's look. Here, look at this. Ready? Wait. It's my leg progress. Ooh, separation, bitches. Separation, bitches. What is up? Fuck yeah. Now I'm saying, fuck yeah. We got to work on the apricot. we, we got to work on the apricot, but I'm not docile. I'm so fucking far from docile. I'm just saying. Don't let this fool you. Just don't let this fool you. Okay? I'm saying. Don't let that fool you. I'm not docile. So, anyways, dispel darkness, allowing that darkness to be pushed out. But see, there's this thing that's really not wanting you to dispel the darkness. There's this thing that keeps trying to pull you back into that dark space. It's up to you to decide which direction you're going to go. Like, which direction are you going to go? Right? Do you guys like that? Do you like my leg? It looks like a turkey leg. It looks like a total turkey leg. It's okay though. It's okay. We're going to fill out the pelvic girdle a little bit more. We're going to do the flexors a bit. And, I'll stop when you can see my ass from the side while I'm standing forward. At which point I shouldn't have any more pelvic instability. So I'm saying, if docile me can have the type of drive to create the type of change that can be experienced in that type of physicality, that tells me that that's actual physical proof for me, that really nothing can stop me. Nothing. Nothing. See, what I want to share with you guys is that yesterday was leg day, right? And I really wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to work out, and my stomach was feeling funky because I think I'm not compatible with one of the drinks that, one of the workout drinks, one of the components. I don't know yet. So, anyways, I was totally, I have my knee issues that I'm trying to rehab. And I was just like, I'm not interested in injuring myself. I'm going to take it very easy today. My shoulders need a break. because I've been blasting shoulders, biceps, and triceps every single workout. I'm just going to focus on slowly and very respectfully empowering my lower half. And I was not taking numbers into consideration at that point, because sometimes, most times, I'm driven to reach certain numbers, because that's how I quantify my progress, numbers. Well, yesterday, I wasn't trying to quantify anything. I was actually genuinely listening to my body and what I could do. I pulled out quite a few exercises, like, nope, not doing that today, not doing this today, not doing that, or that, deleting that. And instead of getting down about it, like, girl, you're being lazy. No, I was just like, I'm going to just play it by ear. When I start to feel something weird, I have to stop. I'm not going to be like, okay, 2 more reps. No, I'm going to stop. Have to be very careful. And so that's what I did. I was very careful. And when I knew I needed to stop, I stopped. When I knew I could push more, I pushed more. So I think it was, maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I was at a 60-pound hip thrust, right? That's what I was doing like 3 weeks ago. I only do legs once a week. So in 2 workouts, I went from 60-pound hip thrust to 255. I knew I could do more, but I knew my knees couldn't take it, so I stopped. Allowing my circumstance to communicate to me, right? And then I moved on to leg presses. Where was I at leg presses? That one was impressive. 367 pounds per rep. I did 2 sets of that. I went from 100 within 2 workouts. I went from 100 to 367. Do you know why? It wasn't because I suddenly became stronger in 2 workouts. That's nonsensical. The body doesn't do that. Not to that degree. Not that type of exponential, explosive growth. Do you know why? You see, pain in the knees, dysfunction in the knees has to do with your perception of yourself within your life, within your environment. Something realigned. My knees were perfectly fine doing the workouts, carrying that load. I'm pretty sure I could have added 90 more pounds, 2 more 45 plates. But I was like, what am I doing that for though? I'm feeling the resistance that I need. I'm feeling the muscle breakdown that I need. I want to be able to walk tomorrow. I don't need to like slap on another 90 pounds. It's good right here. I ended up lifting over 72,000 pounds yesterday without trying, without forcing myself, without guilting myself, without attacking myself. Why? When you allow the alignment to occur within you, everything inside of you is now perfectly positioned to equally carry the load, that heavy emotional load, that heavy perception of self, perception of the things that you've been through, the unfairness of the world, all of that. It gets evenly distributed, and you're no longer in a space of merely trying to prevent yourself from being injured. Regardless of where you've been and how far you've fallen from that space, how far you've backpedaled, your body stores the knowledge of what it was like to get there and be there for however long you were. I know for a fact that in the proper mindset, I can leg press 505 pounds, no problem. I know that for a fact because I've been there. I lived there for a little bit. I know I can do a hip thrust at over 400 pounds. I know that. That's where I left off before I allowed my mindset to become so distorted because of so many different things that have happened. And these are not nonsensical things, and me just not having enough mental or emotional power. My mother died. She died. And I wouldn't allow myself to process that, much less believe it. What has happened to you in your life that has caused you to become so misaligned between the self and the soul that only certain aspects of you that are exhausted are carrying such a huge emotional load? See, the thing with emotional baggage is it belongs to you. You can't just leave it on the side of the road. You can't leave your belongings at someone's house. But you can create a space that you call home where you can leave your luggage so you don't have to carry it around everywhere you go. And whenever you're home, you can take the time to unpack some of that. Oh my God, I got a notification. Pisces, unbelievable how this connection will change your life forever. See what I'm saying though? It's lining up. I just saw that notification come in. It's this thing of like recognizing, really just recognizing all of the different factors that are coming into play during this time. And there are karmic connections that are not malignant. They are not negative for you, that are being allowed to come back into the equation, right? And those components are the very thing that will really help you to better understand your positioning and what parts of you are being allowed to come forward and which parts are exhausted and need to be allowed to sit down. Like I'm realizing the parts of me that are hyper masculine are exhausted. They need to be allowed to rest. There's nothing to fight at this point. There's nothing that I want to fight at this point. There is nothing I need to fight at this point. Life is going about its merry way, finding the most beautiful ways to reestablish that synchronistic alignment, that serendipitous connectivity. I think for some of us, we're going to experience a synergy with someone else's journey. Their journey can add to ours as much as ours can add to theirs. And again, I'm saying this with no romance being factored in. That is the decision of two consenting individuals, whether they want to be in a romantic connection or not. A romantic connection is not necessary to be able to have this type of exponential growth. And it's so important to really, really drive this point home. Like a lot of people are still very heavily convinced that the ideal, that you are not spiritually evolving or worthy of anything unless you are in a romantic relationship with your twin flame. No. People who don't have the capacity to learn on their own, then yeah, they probably need to be in some type of very tumultuous, very challenging, very often painful romantic relationship with their twin. Yeah, probably. You go right ahead. That's going to challenge the absolute crap out of you. And you, if that's what you want, you go right ahead. Okay. I'm not going to tell you not to. But for those who have the capacity to learn in a quantum manner, I mean, what ends up happening is you don't have to have that romantic component where now you're living together and you are not going to be able to avoid the lessons. You're not going to be able to run away from it. And that's what you need. No, you won't need that. You won't need that. You'll be able to do the things that you need to do and simply allow that person to have proximity to you. And that very proximity is a thing that's going to continue to encourage the growth, the expansion as you go through the things you're going through, right? That's the very thing. So this is about really allowing ourselves to tap into the most divine aspects of who we are. For some, there are people that really do need proximity to you in your journey. They are needing to be a part of your life to some degree, right? That's exactly what the twin flame thing is. It's a program to distract. It's a program to enable, to cause you to be willing to accept subpar treatment for someone who you should not even be interacting with. I still say, well, maybe it's not 95% anymore. I would say about 90% of the people who think they are with their twin flame are not. That's not a twin flame. It's absolutely a program. It is. It's a real phenomena that was hijacked and allowed to be completely bastardized, not allowed, intentionally bastardized, right? So that way, the empaths would not have the opportunity to heal. Instead, it encourages you to remain in situations and environments that really disrespect your journey and who you are. Because if you look at um, if you look at some of the more commonly shared symptoms, signs that you're with a twin flame, it's pretty much on the dot the same exact type of relationship dynamic between an empath and a narcissist. Yeah. As a matter of fact, my mentally ill stalker from Switzerland uses that as he was using that for quite some time as his excuse to try and like claim ownership over me. Like I'm his twin and I'm blah, blah, blah. Like, no, bro, you're fucking nasty. Your energy's nasty. Your mindset's nasty. Everything about you is nasty. There is no resonance at all. No. A lot of people will do this to you. They will be like, no, you can't just run away. We have to work this out because we're twins. No, I'm not running away. I'm full on rejecting your ass because your shit's nasty. I don't think so. I don't think so. I found quite a few twin flames, quite a few. And none of them have been disrespectful in that way. There's been a resonance because I'm not disrespectful in that way. They're not either. None of them had tried to claim ownership over me. Hell, not even my twin Ray has tried to claim ownership over me. Like, no. No. It's okay for you to not agree to let anyone else own you. No one should own you. You should be the only one that runs yourself in your life. Now, if you have people in your life that have continuously shown to you that they are genuine in their desire to kind of hold space, safe space for you to learn and grow, those would be good people to kind of, bounce your ideas off of, your perception, get their perception, their opinions about whatever it is that you're experiencing and living through. That those would be good people, those would be good people. Pisces Nation says, I'm grateful for the experience, though. I learned so much about myself. Yes, that's why demonic things still exist. Absolutely. That's why demonic things are allowed to continue to exist, because through their malignant behaviors, we are given the opportunity, and it's not their intention. They don't deserve the credit for your growth and your healing. No, you deserve that credit, not them. Okay. But demonic malignancies can help to trigger you in ways that much more peaceful methods can't trigger you. Maybe you're really good at compartmentalization. Maybe you're really good at avoidance and all of those other things, right? So it's this thing of like, sometimes when I'm not willing to learn what my soul is trying to teach me, I end up experiencing some of the most demonic freaking interactions ever. And that's how I learn. Because then it forces me to take a good hard look at the ways in which my decisions, my chosen responses and reactions are the very thing that's inviting this type of thing in, right? Because we all know damn well I'm not going to intentionally invite that in. I don't want none of that. I don't think so. But there are things that are latent that can serve as the access point, the entry point for darker malignancies. And when you have these experiences, you learn so much if you're willing to see it for what it is. That's the thing, though. You got to be able to see it for what it is, because if not, then it's just going to be a cycle that continues to repeat. And then at that point, you're at risk of developing an addiction to that type of self punishment. Masochism is a real thing, yo. I'm saying masochism is a real thing, like hurts so good. Galactic heritage, but it's in reverse. So this is a refusal to accept the galactic past life, most likely history between you and whoever that is. Okay, but there's a lot of learning that's needing to take place. See, look, the universe, the entire universe manifests out of awareness. Look at this image. This awareness of the connectivity that's necessary. There's a connectivity that's necessary, and that's another aspect of what paths will cross your own. A great teacher is a treasure. Seek to find one. So sometimes if you refuse to learn in the classroom of light, you will be gifted a dark tutor by your own soul. And this dark tutor will have the capacity, the willingness to choose the options and the behaviors that will force you to see the reality of you, force you to see the reality of what you have agreed to participate in. And hopefully, that awareness will also encourage and inspire you to choose to exit out of that, right? Oh, someone trying to pin you down? What is this? Extend your awareness to the energetic edges or boundaries of the universe. So there's someone that's trying to pin you down. It's like, oh gosh, so person who's like, oh my gosh, that's like, these are evil looking cards. This is Tibetan art. Have you heard of Tibet? One of the most sacred spaces. Tibetan monks who don't believe in violence. This is Tibetan art. Allow yourself to expand beyond the limitations of your limited experiences, your limited exposure to other social, cultural type spaces. Okay. So, this is part of Tibetan folklore of some kind. Practicing Chot. Extend your awareness to the energetic edges or boundaries of the universe. So, it's this thing of like, yeah, pinning you down. What is it? This it's like a dorja, right? Is that what it's called? Dorja? Hold on. Let's see. Dorja. What is the dorja used for? It's for like demonic warfare, I think. Oops. Dorja, Tibet. Um, Thunderbolt and Bell. Oh, Dorji. I don't know. These are, what's it used for? It's a scepter. They're indispensable liturgical instruments used during Tibetan Buddhist ritual recitation. They are usually regarded as one object, are matched and used together. Let's see. You know what's badass? I love weaponry. I do. I wanted one of these. It is a freaking, it's a dagger. I wanted something like this. Look at that. Tell me that's not badass. I'm saying, but a Tibetan one, heavily ornate. And I was like, what am I going to use that for though? I already have a mallet. I have a mallet. What would I use that for? You know? No, it's not a kunai. Kunai is more Japanese, right? Yeah, or Chinese. I don't know. It's used for cuz see the structure that they're on? That's the scepter. It's used for recitation. So maybe it's like the same mantra over and over, the same mindset keeping you pinned down to the same space, you know? So it's really needing to liberate yourself. Maybe it's you needing the liberation, or maybe it's that individual that is supposed to be um, seeking refuge with you. I don't know. Ooh, girl, you want a dagger? I'll tattoo you. I'll tattoo you. I'm not a tattoo artist though. I'll tattoo you. If you want, let me know, call me. Yeah, no, I did this myself. It's a I don't know how you guys can see it. It's a Banksy piece. Okay, so let's see. Cultivating a well-rounded personality brings fearlessness. Woo, right? He said, no, no, no. I'll tattoo you first. I'll tattoo you first because my husband's been asking me for a tattoo. It's unicorn fish. It's unicorn fish, Daddy. Only unicorn fish. Yo, I will not tattoo men. I think there are 2 non-relatives that asked me to tattoo them. Why always the chest? I don't want to be by your nipple. That's awkward. That's awkward. Anyways, cultivating a well-rounded personality brings fearlessness. Allowing the fearlessness to come from this space of knowing you're centered, right? You're centered. No village baby. No village baby. No tattoos. Okay. So, anyways, that was aggressive. It is. It's awkward. I like my husband's nipples, but no other male. Ew. Protector of the serpent race. Raise your eyes to a bird in flight to connect to the divine. Ooh. So that's what it is, right? Oh, sorry. So this is someone who sees, okay, so raise your eyes to a bird in flight to connect to the divine. This is someone who sees you flying. You're already flying, you're soaring. You have made so much progress in your self-healing journey. And so that's why they see you as a safe space. That's why they're seeking you out. They're wanting to connect to their own divinity. For right now, that's what it feels like. Things could change. People can get shit twisted very easily. I'm saying people be doing that sometimes. I'm like, What? Where the hell you get that from? Where the hell you get that idea from? It wasn't from me. You what? I'm serious. Sometimes people just make that come out of me. Like, what? What the hell you say? Okay. Goddess of long life. The path of the intellect can yield a long life. So this is someone who is seeking to retrieve their vitality. They have not been able to freely think. They have not been able to really use their intellect. This is probably a case of tremendous gaslighting that went on in the whatever relationship environment they were in. Probably why they're seeking you out. The crazy wisdom, wrathful Buddha. Yes. Dorji Drolo. Okay. I need some of that action. I need a Dorji. I need one. Okay. Let go of being logical. A higher wisdom will guide you. No, I need logic too, though, because that'd be too much. This is too much. This is too much. This is inviting me to do too much. Look, he got a Dorji. And then he got the little, it's like the little bell scepter thing, right? So, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. This is someone who might be attracted to the fact that you're a mom, a tiger mom at that. They want to surf on you. I'm saying. Okay, let me quit. Let me quit with my jokes. I get the final card. And then, honey, are you ready to take me to get coffee? Are you ready, honey? We're going on a coffee date, coffee red. Maybe we shouldn't. I think it's the energy that's kept me up. I'm not sure. I mean, that's a bit excessive, right? To have chai tea latte keep you awake. That's like too much. That's, oh, you're waiting for me? You're waiting for me? Queen of Hearts, they like, you know, they like what they like. They like that you're a tiger mom. They like it. They like it. They're hoping you got that tiger balm energy. Let me stop. I know decaf. I can't have coffee, period. Decaf keeps me up for like 2-3 days. Okay. All right. All right. That's all right. All right. Ooh, number 8. Oh, sacred convergence. Okay. This is not the card, but this is where I open the book to. Okay. I'm going to just read this. Card number 11. Ooh, 11 at that. The realization of the steps that are needing to be taken before the actual steps are taken, right? That's what the number 11 signifies. 100% at 9:54, 119:09, 92:2. Ooh, those messages. Divinity is speaking right now. Sacred convergence, roaming about town. The master was holding a light saying, I am weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I'm longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I am longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I'm longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this in the middle of the circle is what I'm longing for. So there's a longing that's occurring, longing for something healthy. The richness of the health, of the energy of you has someone longing for you. So let's go to the card that I did pick. Card number 8, Cosmic Heart. I was dead, I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I have seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. So this is kind of like this is like the person has gone through this space of longing, of depletion, a space of not having what it is they actually need, and that's what causes the craving, right? It's not, we have to be careful about using this to justify someone who has some type of unhealthy obsession. This is not about an unhealthy fixation on you. It's not about ownership. It's about the recognition of what is lacking. Did you know that when you crave certain foods, it's because you're deficient in whatever that food is rich in? So I have thyroid issues, right? That I am addressing. And for a couple of weeks there, I was like nonstop eating tons of grapes daily throughout the day. Like that's basically all I was eating was grapes. And I'm like, what the hell are grapes rich in that I cannot get enough of grapes? Well, I had added another supplement, which I didn't realize it helps to transport out, remove from your system copper. Copper is a very essential part of what you need. It's essential for many functions. And oftentimes, because of my liver, not my liver, my thyroid issues, I would have too much copper, which caused me to crave chocolate. If you guys have known me years back, I consistently was eating chocolate. It's because I had a excess copper in my system, right? So because of that experience, I know like something's going on that I need to figure out, and the grapes are going to tell me exactly what it is. Grapes are rich in copper. So that's what it was. I was becoming deficient in copper. I had to cut back on that supplement, and I'm not craving grapes now, right? So it's this thing. Um, Someone is deficient in whatever it is that you are rich in. Are you rich in healing? Are you rich in safety, protection, gentleness? All of that. Are you rich in that? And that's why they crave you, because they crave the very thing that they don't have. Not because they're trying to take ownership of you, but because you represent a pathway back to themselves, to their health. That's not an unhealthy um, preoccupation with you. That's not unhealthy. You, if they can recognize that you are merely representing the path back to themselves, and no, that's not unhealthy. But if they're thinking like you're going to save them and you know you're the answer to everything, that's unhealthy because they're giving their power away. I hear it and weep. In sublime reverence, I bow to this living, beating, loving heart of the universe. It echoes throughout all of creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound. Much noise, but no truth. And for that, it's a sense of like whoever was in their environment, in their life, had a lot to do with that environment or that person, one specific person or multiple, basically mimicking you and what you are. Coconut is rich in electrolytes. You're probably dehydrated. So I believed in many things not worth believing in. It caused them to become very jaded. Then, in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than those temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things like fear and doubt is lunacy. Even my loneliness became unconvincing to me. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that's sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, and the fishes, emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? you live. That is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. There is a time on the journey of love when the beloved, that would be you and me, sweet soul, is prepared to engage more completely with the heart of the divine lover. So that engagement, that crossing paths, right? The preparation will be a rich process, spiritually speaking. It may also feel like being beaten, pummeled, simmered, and stirred in the pot of the divine master chef to become a sacred, savory meal fit for the most heavenly of feasts. This is a courageous and bold process, one that will create the most delicious aromas in the soul. And yet, it is one that will likely take us right to the places we would rather avoid, places of confrontation with pain, but where the loss of its grip on our being no longer lets us quake and retreat from life in fear or uncertainty. So, again, it's that thing of whatever this was, whoever is going to cross paths with you, it's been something that has been greatly avoided out of fear of the rejection, fear of the negative response they might receive from you, right? You have been through these tantalizing trials. The push to surrender fear, the realization your attempts at control amount to not so much, actually. So why not abandon them altogether? So now for you and whoever will be involved in this process, neither of you will be able to control this. This is something that will be very much like Kismet, where it's just going to be what it's going to be, whatever it is. The trials have asked you to confront every part of your being that holds itself back in resistance to what is, in resistance to what life presents at this very moment. You've been asked to become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing, and to understand that you don't have to understand anything for life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace. For many, that insatiable need to understand before you can comply to the request of soul, it comes from a space of fear that you cannot handle what soul is asking you to do. It comes from a desire to control the environment you exist within. That's why I try my best at this point to really not try and control things, but there's a balance that needs to be established, right? Where you're not trying to control, but you have the appropriate level of control that's necessary to be an active component of whatever you're living through. You've been asked to bear darkness without losing hope for the return of the light. You have been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom when your mind was terrorized by nightmares and hallucinations of fear. So, this line, you've been asked to bear darkness without losing hope for the return of the light. You are, for whoever this is, you are the moon at the darkest night. See, when the night is that dark and the moon shines, she shines bright enough to light your way. Just enough for you to not fumble, just enough for you to not lose your path back to yourself. And that's kind of what you've been for some time now. The moon for someone else on such a dark night of the soul, you have been their moon. And even when you wax and wane, you still have an appropriate place within their heavens, right? It's really, what is the night sky if the moon didn't exist? It's not something that any human could ever really quite know. The moon has always been and it always will be, just like you in your presence. It always has been and always will be. I think this is a soul contract that's coming up. Because how could you be their moon if there was no orbiting you? If there was no orbit, right? Like, these are celestial bodies bound to each other by things that cannot be seen. They can be felt, though, when the proximity, the intensity, when she shines at her brightest, her ability to control all things that live on the surface is very, very clear. Ask anyone who works in an ER. Full moon, things go kind of wonky, right? So, this is intense. This is intense. You've been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom when your mind was terrorized by nightmares and hallucinations of fear. They were so powerful, you were certain they must be real, that you must be crazy not to run and hide somehow, somewhere. This is why they ran from you. This is another twin flame reading. Oh, God. Anyways, and yet here you are, still loving, still wise, and ready for a love bigger than you have ever experienced before. So we step forward together, you and I. I link my arm through yours and I urge you on. Let us run together and jump over the edge. No more half living in any way for you and me. We will weep crystal clear tears and we will laugh with such joy that stars will burst forth, borne upon our exultations. We will hear the beating of the cosmic heart pounding in our ears, and how shall we dance to it? That sacred, intoxicating rhythm moves hips and hands and hearts, raising the soul from slumber. But that heart does beat so loud, it can be startling to the parts of you unused to such wild, unconditional affection and rowdy playfulness. You may worry that this great love is not going to be careful enough with you. Some people are fragile regardless of gender. When you have the capacity to feel, when you are in possession of such a profound power, a celestial power, there is a balance that must be kept. It creates a fragility within the person. The most powerful people are oftentimes the most fragile, and the way they respond to the awareness of their fragile state is what will determine, it's what will dictate the way they use that power, right? What if you get tossed around in the great oceans of love? You will surely be disoriented and become lost to the world you once knew. How then will you know where to go? Fear not, my soulmate. Love has its wisdom and its way. We shall become lost in its genius together. While our minds are tipped this way and that, tumbled in love's great waves, we shall be forced to surrender our useless intelligence and become mindless. Then how easy it shall become for the perfection of love to guide us, for there shall be nothing within to question and resist. We will no longer have to find the way, for we will have become the way. This oracle comes with special guidance for you. More love is rushing towards you like a great cosmic tsunami. You will struggle with this blessing to the extent that you will attempt to hold on to what has been. So don't. Let go. Let it move you. You'll perhaps get some water up your nose, but nothing will come to you that you cannot handle. You'll be disheveled somewhat, undoubtedly. Yet as you are washed up upon love's shining shore, keeping every hair in place will be the last thing on your mind. You'll be too caught up in the wonder of perfection, realizing how deeply loved you are and how unnecessary it is to contrive a way to live your purpose. Instead, you'll have no idea what's going on. You'll be surrendered in passionate embrace with life, simply being your exquisite, crazy, unique self, saturated with divine love. It will drip from you, out of your feet, your eyes, your voice, your touch. You'll water the earth with love's oceanic presence. Oh, how that tsunami will deliver you into your divine destiny. No need for any contrivance. Let your hair get messed up. Your destiny awaits you now. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. 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 There is this unstoppable thing that's being initiated for quite a few people. It's a convergence. It is a divine convergence that really, it has the capacity to guide, to cleanse, to terraform the entire landscape of the human consciousness and the trajectory of the evolution of that consciousness, the evolution of the collective whole. That's how profound this is. 1010, 100% at 1010. That's how profound this is. that ability to connect with a divinity so profound that it cannot be stopped. Your human perceptions of how this plays out will greatly affect the way you experience it, but the experience itself is already predetermined for quite a few. This is not going to be applicable to everyone, but for those that this is applicable to, you cannot stop this. You cannot deny it. You cannot modify it. You cannot slow it down. Events have been initiated. You've entered the event horizon. That's deep. So for some, the event horizon involves another person. For others, the event horizon is the other person. They exist in a space of shadow and darkness, much like a black hole, eager to consume, not in a malignant way, but in a way that frees you to be transported to a white hole that will shoot you into your divine destined place, that space where you were created to exist. On the other side of a black hole is a white hole, opposing polarity. You're not being consumed just for the sake of consuming you. You're not being torn apart just for the sake of destruction. This is a very calculated, very divinely orchestrated, choreographed deconstruction. It's the tearing down to build it up, a controlled demolition. And every part that's broken off from the whole is a part that will be reused by soul. It will be reused for the greater good that's being built, not just for you, but the totality of humanity. This has to do with Palladorian contracts. There's no other way to put it. It has to do with Palladorian contracts, and that is why it is unavoidable. You cannot change the details. Those paths will cross and everything will change, and you cannot control any of this. You cannot avoid it. You cannot hide from it. You cannot run from it. You cannot slow it down. None of that. Why? Well, if it's my Palladorian contract, if it's my Palladorian contract and it's about my learning, I thought you said that it's up to me how I'm going to learn. Yeah, if it only involved you, Palladorian contracts are different. They're different. It's like the difference between a contractual agreement regarding the design of your personal home. You custom building a home, right? Okay. Is a design of the custom built home, or you get to pick all the various details, the finishes, brushed or oiled brass. Oh my God. Yes. Solid wood interior doors. Shit, I'm never leaving the house. I'm saying Venetian plaster walls, cathedral ceilings, a catwalk, wrought iron. I'm saying, yo, that's sexy. I'm just saying. I've already told my husband this over the years. He knows what his wife likes. Anyways, so it's like, you get to pick the details of your custom built home. But when it comes to the contractual agreement for the design of the neighborhood, you don't get to pick that. Okay. Stop with entitlement shit. You don't get to pick that. You get to pick where in the neighborhood you can move to if you want, if you have the budget for it, but you don't get to suddenly be like, no, I don't want that street to curve. I would like that street to go straight, make a hard left. And no, I don't want that to be a cul-de-sac. I want that to be, a through road. Like, no, you don't get to decide that. That's a Palladorian contract. Because there are so many other factors that are involved that really affect the learning of all who will witness this. And it's not just your personal friends and family, it is a collective thing. That's why sometimes you guys see me, I'm live streaming and I'm getting all like bent out of shape about something and I don't want to talk about it, but it's like, you don't have to talk about it, anybody. There I am talking about it, and I'm sad that I have to talk about it because I don't want to talk about it, but now here I'm talking about it. And it's like, why? They don't have that option. That is a component of a Palladorian contract. Could you imagine if I withheld from you the very thing you needed to witness to shift your perception in such a way that forever changes the trajectory of your life? Now, whether it's my intention to shift you or not is irrelevant. When that is what the Palladorian contract is asking for, and there are many who will be affected, who will then affect others and others and others until these waves of change become an entire ocean. I mean, have you ever tried to stop the ocean? Deep water, far out in the ocean. I'm not talking about being in a bay. I'm not talking about being at the shoreline. I'm talking about deep ocean. You ever been deep ocean fishing? That shit gets crunk fast. You better go on a good day because you get fucked up. I'm telling you. The waves are insane. You better have the right type of boat. You trying to go out deep ocean in a speedboat, you gonna get fucked up. So that's a Palladorian contract. It's an entire ecosystem comparable to the ocean, affecting billions upon billions just because they witnessed you. This is a Palladorian contract that's coming up. It is being activated. Shit's going to get crunky. Good luck, guys. I'm going to get coffee now. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, Jesus loves you and is asking you to subscribe. Hit the all button for the notifications. I'll be going live later today to do some stuff. Do you guys want me to finish off the auction for the crystal stuff? Should I do that? Because I'm thinking maybe I'll do that. But see, thank you, Lindsay. I was about to mention this. I do have the 222 fire ceremony. It's a Endaran dragon flame ceremony that I'm going to be doing on February 2nd. So I'm wondering, do you guys want expedites today, or should I just finish the auction, the crystal auction? I got so many fucking crystals. It's ridiculous. Finish the crystal auction, and then, I don't know. God. We'll see what happens, but I'll be live later this evening. Maybe I'll do some quick expedites that I'm not going to have available during the 222 portal. We'll see. We shall see. Love you guys. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Select the all function. Help me overcome this 4-year shadow ban. Fuck you, YouTube. I love y'all. YouTube, you a hoe. Oh, convergence prep expedite. See, with that, you guys, this convergence. Okay. Let me teach you a little something really quick. I'm going to share some information really quick, okay? Just hold on. Hold the phone. Okay. So when it comes to a convergence, right, it's taking one consciousness and another consciousness, and it's placing them in front of each other, right? That's one consciousness and another consciousness. Now, when it comes to convergence, there is this electromagnetic field that begins to spin, right? It starts to spin, kind of like electrons, right? It starts to spin, which then creates some type of gravitational pull, which brings the two consciousness together. They'll reach this stage where they will be put face to face, right? They're going to be placed face to face. And it's at that point that it's going to set off a lot of triggering. And that triggering then creates this explosive moment. I was teaching my class last night about weather bending, and I was teaching them about particle excitation. And it's with that, what ends up happening, you're having things spinning, right? And now these these sparks of consciousness awareness are reaching out, reaching out, reaching out, and that creates the very like interweaving. And when things begin to interweave and they begin to polarize and draw each other in, what ends up happening is they're no longer a separate consciousness. They become a singularity. That is a convergence. It's a convergence. It's a coming together of that consciousness. And as it continues to come together, the intensity of that, because it'll cycle each other's energies through and through and through. Like this, right? It'll cycle it through and through and through until it reaches a point where both have exchanged enough of their own separate awareness. It's an exchange. They're exchanging it, right? And then you'll experience that mitosis where it will pinch off so that another cycle of individuated learning can occur. So there's not true separation and there's not true convergence in that perception of it being perpetual. Like these are cycles. These are cycles. And this is going to be a major, major cycle. This type of convergence cycle hasn't happened in, well, one was initiated during the time of Jesus. One was initiated during the time of Jesus. Before that, there was a cycle that was initiated between the phoenix and the dragon. There was a cycle that was initiated between Shiv and Kali. There was a lot that was initiated. There are quite a few cycles. Notice how those cycles have a tendency to completely shift. Okay, Shiv's counterpart is Parvati, right? Parvati, and then there's stuff with Kali, Shiva and Kali. I mean, these are very like tumultuous type periods, but they initiate the types of growth and change that are necessary. They gift you with the opportunity to really amplify and elevate the trajectory of your consciousness awareness journey. Your consciousness is ever expansive. It's this thing that's not quite quantifiable. Your divine consciousness, not just your individuated consciousness. There's layers of consciousness. Your supra consciousness is something that you guys, this is not a class. Let me not teach you about all this. I'm sorry. I got caught up. I'm going to leave it at that. I teach classes. I do. If you'd like to learn, I teach quite a bit. I do have a weekly membership where I teach all of this kind of stuff. I teach you sometimes about, the current events of energies and a lot of that type of thing. I also teach a certification program where I teach you how to prepare yourself for clients and how to properly, like my level 1, just in the first maybe 3 classes, you'll become more powerful than any Reiki master. Reiki is very just bottom rung type energy. It's harmonic universe 1. My system, Reiki doesn't go beyond harmonic universe 1 because it's a draconian program. Is Draco. It's controlled opposition. Kokoro 33, it harnesses frequencies base level 12D. That's the base level you need to be able to affect true change in your client. But yeah, I teach a whole bunch of different classes. I have workshops coming up. I think my calling in life is not to be a spiritual badass. I'm not. I'm just not, you guys. I'm a fragile person. You're seeing my fragility as badassery when in fact it is me protecting my fragile self. Y'all ain't no badassery here. But I think my calling in life is to teach, just I love to share information and empower people through the sharing of that. These are concepts that you don't need previous experience. There's no prerequisites or anything like that for you to be able to learn. And I'll leave you guys with this. If you do enough digging, you'll find the events that are documented, that other people talk about. It's not talked about far and wide, but other people do talk about this. Based on my memories, and I'm not talking about, doing a reading from the Akashic records. I'm talking about I remember living that life. A lot of my past life memories are still intact. Not all, but a lot. During the time of Thoth, Hermes, Tehuti, at that time, he preferred to be called Thoth. He attempted to usurp the power of creation and establish immortality that was not actually authorized to be accessed by him, by attempting to transcribe the CDT plates. That is the history of all of creation. So he tried to transcribe the CDT plates. First, he stole the plates. He was not authorized to access them. He stole them. And then he had high priests and priestesses during the times of Kemet go ahead and begin transcribing the CDT plates. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, well, the CDT plates, isn't that the actual history? Yes, it is. The problem is not the CDT plates. The problem is that Toth was not aware that a special ops mission had been launched, because creation has highly precognitive abilities. Creation was aware. And creation greenlit a team of souls to gain the trust of Toth for this event. And so that team of souls, yes, they did transcribe the CDT plates, but they convoluted a large portion of it. About 70%. Left enough truth and factuality to make it very difficult to dispute. Yeah. That's what much of the esoteric texts that are out now, that's what it's based on. The convolution, the turning upside down the information so that it could remain intact and not be utilized in a way that's not authorized by creation. My memories don't come from books. There's a lot of spiritual people who learn from other spiritual people, who learn from other spiritual people, who found esoterica to be very fascinating. That's not my journey. That's not my story. What I know comes from what I've lived through many lifetimes of service to humanity and other cultures, other species from time-space matrices. I am the consummate personal assistant to Creator. What do you need done today, Creator? Would you like some coffee? So, it kind of just is what it is. For many of you, you're holding on to information that is intentionally corrupted. For others of you, you have the ability, the capacity to be able to discern which parts are truth and which parts you are not going to be, and you should not be integrating into what you perceive to be true, right? It's not just me that can do that. Like, I read the Emerald Tablets a couple of years back, quite a few years ago, actually, at this point. I read the Emerald Tablets, and it was a translation, one of the oldest translations. I got a PDF because, y'all, for a period of time, I was obsessed with esoterica. And all of my homies were deep in the hermetic stuff. That alchemical hermetic shit, Kemet, all of that. I was just deep into it. And one of them gave me a copy, a digital copy, a PDF of one of the first translations of the Emerald Tablets. And I was like, wait, so do y'all see? Is it, did it print weird? Because there's words in between, there's lines in between the lines. What does your version look like? And they're like, what are you talking about? When your brain is calibrated to receive truth, all it takes is the triggering of the portions of your morphogenetic template. You need to be exposed to certain things that will trigger that part. It's kind of like the logic of PTSD. Once that gets triggered, you go right back to that place where you first experienced the trauma, right? Not for PTSD, because that's a pathology. That's a natural way that humans used to retrieve our ancestral information, but it wasn't a pathology then. Now our genetics have become so convoluted and so distorted. The etheric genetics became distorted due to our exposure to synergistic toxicity. And so we can't do that. But that function still exists, except now it's a pathology called post-traumatic stress disorder. It's called PTSD. Mhm. But if you know how to harness that without the pathology involved, you can access memories. I'm just saying. So I gotta go for real. You guys, I love y'all. I'll see you again very soon. Thumbs up for the video. There is so much information jam-packed in my brain. So much. None from books. So much information. And so I'm really coming to terms with the reality that I love being a teacher and sharing this information. I don't even need to be right or agreed with. I just love sharing it. It's like a release. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll see y'all later today, either expedites or auction. I'm not sure. We shall see. We shall see. I love you guys. Bye, everyone.